Hi, my name's Alexandra. I run a branding and design studio, and I'm going to walk you through a workshop today that's all about identifying your brand values and to stand out online. I'll give you some tips and tricks as to how you can do that. So it's all about telling your own story and developing your own brand narrative. I'm going to first of all share with you my screen. And yeah, so a bit about me. I used to run around my dad's wood workshop, making wooden sculptures out of anything that I could get my hands on up in West Yorkshire. We would go and salvage materials from the mills that were getting pulled down in the north of England, and then bring them back to the workshop and make something new from them, or sell on the bobbins and just weird and wonderful objects that he would salvage from those mills at antiques fairs or wherever. So it's just the idea that you could make something out of nothing that inspired me to want to set up my own business. So in 2017, that's what I did. Now we create lots of brand identities for startups, and that oftentimes includes participating in a workshop with the founders or founder to get them aligned on their vision, their goals and their values, but also to help them to craft a story that they're really proud of and that they're want to share with the world. So these are some of the brands that we've worked with: Beast, Wiz & Co, Content is Queen, Helen New Communications, Big Door Productions. So the ones that I just outlined to you there, we designed the logos either in-house or together in collaboration with a type designer. So here's a bit of an agenda for today. It's why start with why. So there's exercise 1, which is all about building your own brand purpose. I'm just going to pause the screen, and then I'm going to kind of leave some time for you to also pause this video. This is a re-recording of the event that I hosted with MakeFest on Tuesday evening. So yeah, just pause when necessary. And then, so the third step is a case study where we're going to look at how Patagonia does it. Then another exercise, so defining your emotional appeal, and then another couple of case studies, and then another exercise where it's getting to know, so helping you to craft your own story. So yeah, please do pause and take the time that you need to participate in the exercises, because it'll really help you to get grounded and to come up with something really cool for your brand that you can refer to repeatedly. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So I'm sure that a lot of you here have heard of Simon Sinek. He's an author and entrepreneur based in America. I think he's got English descent, but he came up with this golden circle theory. So you've got why in the center. So why is your purpose? So what is your cause and what do you believe? And then you've got how, so your process. So these are specific actions taken to realize your why. And then in the outer circle, it's all about what. So what is your process? What do you do? And what's the result of your why? So the proof. For example, Patagonia do it like this. So it's their purpose is inspiring and implementing sustainability in the outdoor industry. How, so the process is eco-friendly materials, fair trade practices, and organic cotton. So the materials and everything that they build with is actually kind of living up to those values. And then what, so the process, so that's the result of your why, and that's the proof. So they're world renowned for being a brand with purpose. For example, the initiative that they have to recycle clothes. So although they could be making more, which they clearly do, they also have an initiative where you can bring in old Patagonia stuff. I think it's either in store, but definitely online, and then buy stuff that other people have worn, but it's such well-made kind of quality items that it makes sense for them to only be reused because it fits with their why. So inspiring and implementing sustainability in the outdoor industry. So you can see how all of that really connects well together. So now I'd love for you to just take a bit of time to think about your why. So I'm going to pause this screen. And I'd like you to focus on, so what your purpose is, so why, what is your cause, and what do you believe? And then how, so your process, specific actions taken to realize your why. And then what, so your process again, but in a different way. So it's like, what do you do, the result of the why, and the proof. For example, like our why is we want to make loads of money and also create brands that are gorgeous, that like a new business could own and feel really, really proud of, but for like not too much of a high price point, so that it's like affordable and doable to set up a business with stunning design. How, our process, so we do that by doing the work. I also teach at Shillington part-time graphic design, so a lot of the processes that I teach there are also kind of like present within the work, so it's really important for me to teach my team really, really well about how to do design to improve their like knowledge and also make them more confident at work and produce better quality work. And then so your process, the result of our why and the proof is the quality work that you can see on our website. So yeah, I'm just gonna mute myself and also so I hope that you enjoyed doing that. We've got brand purposes. So Dove, achieving real beauty and encouraging women to love themselves more. Crayola, fostering creativity in children, and Coca-Cola, spreading and sharing happiness. So these are their brands' purposes, but also like a mini kind of manifesto. So creating a clear and compelling brand is all about a series of choices. Figuring out who the brand is or aspires to be is important, but moreover, it's about why you made those choices and how long they're going to be relevant for. So Lucy Parker came to us when she wanted a brand identity and also like a story. So she was most concerned about not having a really clear story. It was during the pandemic where she spent a lot of time in her jewellery making studio just outside of London in the countryside. And she was just like, how am I meant to like evoke a story of being a super interesting brand. And I was like, you already do, you know, just the fact that you're creating beautiful objects is enough. She's inspired by kind of like, for want of a better term, like working class culture and just like very simple design. And by the nature of like the people that she was inspired by, like their communication style is very direct, to the point, no nonsense and straightforward. You know, it's just about creating something that works. So her signet ring, as you can see on the bottom left, she creates these that can be engraved on the inside for a special occasion, so custom made pieces. Just the fact that she loves doing it is enough of a story. So what I'm saying here is that it doesn't have to be fluffy. Like, the fact that you enjoy doing what you do is enough of a story. It could also be the fact that you create your work in Wales or Scotland, or like any kind of link that somebody else, like a part of your audience, can relate to and kind of buy into, is a really valid part of your story. So don't worry too much about not having one, because you already actually have one. Just the fact that you're alive and are creating a brand, like, it can be so simple. We've got another exercise for you. So this is all about defining your emotional appeal. So we've got Patagonia. We want to help outdoor enthusiasts feel proud, caring, ethical when they interact with our environmentally friendly products. Savage Fenty, we want to help all genders, all body types feel sexy, fun, and fearless when they interact with our inclusive lingerie. And then IKEA, so we want to help people in their 30s feel stylish, comfortable, prudent when they interact with our reasonably priced furniture. So, you know, this just really helps us to think about who we're designing for and who we're creating a story for. Because, you know, with art, it's like you've got a responsibility to share with the public the way that you see the world. Whereas with design, it's more, you're creating something that's for an audience. So it's not, it's less about you. It's like creating something that's going to speak to an audience. So I'd like you to spend another 5-10 minutes just defining your own emotional appeal. So eliciting these emotions in your audience is your brand mission. Write it down like this. So we want to help the demographic feel emotion when they interact with our product. Equally, if you're a solo founder, you can rephrase this and say, I want to help feel when they interact with my, so personal branding is a thing. If you've got any questions about that, I'm offering like free half-hour consultations where I talk you through the difference between branding and personal branding and all of that stuff. So feel free to get in touch with me after this workshop, after you've watched this video. My email address is info@alexandralund.com. So I'd be really pleased to hear from you. But equally, doing this exercise will really help you get aligned on the basics. So I'm going to pause the screen and please just fill out what's written on the screen and apply it to your brand. So again, hope that you enjoyed that exercise. Another case study is one brand that we created for Seuss Cake Studio. So you pronounce it Seuss. Seuss are a brand that came to us during the pandemic, and Julia, our client, wanted to reimagine the idea of sweetness. So kind of is oftentimes associated with something quite soft and cutesy, and we really wanted to reimagine what that is for a new audience. So based in East London, we created 3 different type studies. So you've got study 1, which is very bold and brash, but also like using the materials that she uses to create her cakes as like the umlauts. Süß actually translates to sweet in German, so it's really like lovely to work with these letters. We actually only needed to design 2 letters because obviously the 4 is just a repetition of the first letter in the logo, and also because it's just like 1 syllable, it's like a really nice logo mark as well. So you've got the logo type, which is written out like the whole word written out, and then you've got a logo mark, which is oftentimes like a emblem or a monogram or an icon or element of the whole logo type. But for this brand, it is fine to have like the logo type and the logo mark as 1 logo, because it's just like so short and sweet, for want of a better word. But yeah, study 2 works with like a crafted feel, so they're kind of like sharp edges of a knife, and then study 3 works with like, again, the ingredients that she uses and methods that she uses to create her gorgeous cakes, which are delicious, by the way. So yeah, sugar frosting, she went for this one, so study 2, as you can see. And this is like what the campaign looks like, excuse me, across all platforms, or at least in print. If you want to see how the brand is translated into digital, just go to Seuss Cake Studio on Instagram, or type it into Google and you'll see her website that we also built for her. And as part of the website, we've included lots of colors that are, again, kind of influenced from the natural ingredients that she uses. So we've got like chocolate, coffee, cream, caramel, that form this really nice kind of like muted pastel style of a color palette. And I think that really softens down the overall aesthetic. So super happy with the end outcome. Another case study. So this font was designed by Marie Boulanger. She's a type designer who's now working for Monotype, and Camellia Spice Co. are a spice company founded by Hallie and Miles. Miles used to work in aviation, and now Hallie, I think they've both gone full time to do this. Hallie is a chef originally from Saudi Arabia. So Camellia is, or a camellia was, somebody who used to travel all over the world, like getting different spices, objects, and then bringing them back over to the West during the Enlightenment period. And also now it's just basically someone who rides a camel. So we really wanted to like communicate the rhythmic feelings of like how it is to do like journey through the desert. So this is my favorite, but you know, you can't argue about taste. The client wanted something that had a more kind of like apothecary feel to it, so we came up with these 2 as well. And then this is the one in which the client went with, so it's like lots of different routes and iterations, and they were really keen on this one but also having elements of this one, so we made it have a baby. And then if you head over to Camellia Spice Co. again on Instagram or on the web, you'll see the final result, which we're really proud of. And I really, really love how Marie interpreted the brief to kind of like include camel humps as part of the M. So this is the logo mark. So the kind of, yeah, emblem that sits as an avatar, for example. It's got a playful treatment, hinting at the humps of a camel while evoking height and elegance. So yeah, once we've kind of like put together a brand identity for someone, we'll always put everything into clearly labeled folders and then a brand book, because maintaining consistency really is everything. So if you have like the same banner as you do on LinkedIn and Twitter, but a different one on Facebook and a different banner maybe on like, I don't know, TikTok or Instagram, then it just like has a kind of subconscious impact on the way that you perceive a brand. So like consistency is so important. Like if you choose a color palette, use that color palette throughout and make sure you've got the hex code so that it's all the same. Don't just like tweak it and then like every now and again think, I like that peach color, I'm just going to use it here, because it does have an impact. And the more and more you change things, the less kind of successful your brand will be from a visual perspective. So exercise 3 is actually designed by Sonder and Tell, who are wordsmiths. So this one is to create a short manifesto in your brand's tone of voice using these sentence starters. So we believe, we are passionate in, we obsess over, we go after, we are in the business of, and we are defined by. So I'd like you to just put pen to paper and really have a think about what this is for your business. When I hosted this with MakeFest and Design Calendar on Tuesday this week, one of the participants has a social enterprise. So the kind of prompt of "we go after" wasn't really relevant to her. It's, you know, it's kind of capitalistic in its kind of narrative here. So it is, you know, you're creating a product or a brand, it's ultimately or generally going to assume that you're going to be selling something. So that's why, you know, we go after. And going after would be your audience. However, for the social enterprise, it didn't feel quite right to say we're going to go after these people, because it's more of a charity kind of thing, if that makes sense. But what was applicable to her is like, we go after investors to help support what we do. So hope that makes sense. So yeah, pen to paper. I'm going to mute myself again, but it's basically, we believe, we are passionate in, we obsess over, we go after, we are in the business of, and we're defined by. Again, if you're a personal brand or you're setting up a brand where you want to position you as the founder and you're not working as part of a team, then change the words to I believe, I am passionate in, I obsess over, I go after, I'm in the business of, and I'm defined by. And what this will do is give you a really clear framework to refer to again and again. It's almost like just having the foundations. And I know that a lot of you watching this video will like already have a brand and you might have already done some strategy work like this before, but it's always good to revisit it. I do it myself like every quarter to just like think and see how things have changed, because things do change. So yeah, think about what's important to your team culture and what makes your offering unique, as well as what drives your story. Okay, great. So I hope that you enjoyed doing that. And yeah, thank you. That's really about it. Do feel free to reach out if you've got any questions or concerns about branding in general. And I've got a PDF full of key takeaways from this event, and also it contains like a list of free resources and kind of like scheduling for social media, a template for that, so just like stuff that's helpful. So email me for that. It's info@alexandralund.com. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Enjoy your summer. Enjoy your summer.